GarageBand Weekly here on Studio Live today. Should we do it? Let's do it.
GarageBand Weekly, GarageBand Weekly, GarageBand Weekly. Need an answer to your question, John, you'll have a suggestion. He's a fountain of all knowledge. I think he might have gone to GarageBand College. What he doesn't know, we'll try and find out. So join the chat and give him a shout. John, GarageBand Weekly.
Good morning. Good afternoon, good evening. Just getting the old fingers warmed up here for GarageBand Weekly, episode number 110. And we're doing something different here because, 110's a... Okay, it's not an interesting number at all, but here's the deal. So it's January the 24th here in Australia. It's the 23rd for you folks elsewhere. And as you may recall, back at the very start of the year, I made a bit of a promise to me and to you and to everyone that I would do a song a month. And guess what? Yeah, that song kind of fizzled a little bit and hasn't really gained a lot of traction. So we are going to spend today recording and songwriting and getting an hour's worth of GarageBand goodness. I've got my GarageBand set up here. I'm going to share this over here on the screen. There we go. There is me and my GarageBand ready to rock and roll. And I've cheated. I've spent the last hour getting the basic bones of this song together because I thought then we could spend some time together here today showing you what I do from here. So I've literally got drums, 2 guitars and bass. I've written lyrics. Ooh, I know, exciting. And we're going to crack on and do this. So fortunately, if you were expecting your regular, usual GarageBand Weekly with all the segments and all the news and all the other bits, you have to wait till next week because we're going to do something a bit different here today. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to answer your questions. As we go along here, if you have any questions, all you need to do is pop the word question in front of your comment and I will try to answer that. There you go. Just do that. Got a question? Put the word question in front of there. And thank you. Today I'm going to say that we're brought to you by my wonderful patrons over at studiolivetoday.com/Patreon who have been supporting me for nearly 2 years now. We've been doing the Patreon deal. So if you want even more content, some more looser live shows, shall we say, where Pete sort of lets things go a bit more, then jump over to Patreon, studiolivetoday.com/Patreon. Let's say good day to the folks who are here live. Hello to Phil. Hello to Thomas Christ. We've got SM Borthwick here. We've got Mr. Mark Bro, the YouTube FBI. Well, I need help on making music too, YouTube FBI. That's why I'm doing this version of this show here today. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, we're just doing our thing here. DJ Norman in the house as well. G'day to you. And anyone else, SM Borthwick, if I didn't say g'day to you. Hello. Welcome. How do you make vocal melodies? Well, funnily enough, I'm glad you asked because today I'm going to try and write some vocal melodies and I'm going to try and write some lead guitar parts and I'm going to try and bring it all together in this song because it's changed a little bit. Why don't I put the bass down? It's getting a bit awkward. I'm going to just put the bass down behind me for now. So... what we're using here today, the setup we have is I'm using GarageBand iOS on my iPad Pro 2020. I've got a Steinberg UR22C interface and I've got a guitar plugged into channel 2. I have my microphone here ready to go, my AKG D5, and we're going to get cracking and get recording in a very simple way. 2 channels, guitar and mic. We've got GarageBand ready to go, and we're going to be good to go here today. Hello, Timothy, by the way. Hello, Jade Star. Hello, Bang Dingo. Hello to you. Hope you're all doing well. Let's turn off the, we've got some monitoring going on there, so we'll turn off the, there you go. You can still hear the bus outside, but you can't hear the hiss of the monitor there. So let's take a step back here with this track. What we had last time, I'm just going to save out here because I haven't saved it for a while. What we were doing last time, here is the song. I'm just calling it Grunge Song 4. It has a name now. I'll reveal that in just a moment. But at the moment, we have, this is what we had going into this from our last show. It was a little bit like this. And it was a bit of a slow, groovy kind of jam. It went into a little bit of something like this in the middle section. Yeah, just ticking along. And I was like, okay, that's all right. And I think I was going for a bit of more of like a stoner shoegazer kind of vibe when I first wrote this song. I was listening to it today going, this is just dragging. This is just not where I wanted it to be. So what did I do? Well, I duplicated out the project here in GarageBand to create a new version. You just tap and hold and hit the duplicate button. And I've duplicated out. So now we've got Grunger song number 5. We're up to the 5th version of this, and we've barely even scratched the surface. So this is where we are at now. And as you'll probably hear from this, we've increased the pace a little bit because it was sort of lurking and holding back. So I've upped it by about 20 BPM. And now I think it's kind of sounding a little bit more rockin'. What do you think? So now it probably sounds more like Mbop by Hanson, which is what some folks maybe thought it sounded like last time. I've also changed up the chorus. I've got a different chord progression here on the chorus because I wanted this to be like a late 90s Blink 182 style kind of punk song, and you'll find out with the lyrics in a moment that it's definitely got a bit of that vibe. So here's our chorus sound now. There you go. And look, we have to play around with the guitar tones. They're not exactly where I wanted them to be, but I wanted to get everything kind of written down and recorded down so that we can build out the progression here. We can build out the whole song structure. We can make sure that we're ready to go, and then we can do some recording. Like in the faster tempo, a little bit more energy. Yes, it's a little bit sped up. So we're now up at, we're at 96 BPM. We're at 111. I've never done a song at 111 BPM. I always like even numbers. I'm a bit weird like that. So we've upped that one there. There you go. DJ Normal. Did you have a question about speakers? Yeah. I'm using those ones exactly. The Presonus Iris 3.5s. They are ridiculously good. They punch well above their weight. So jump on over to the Studio Live Today gear guide here at studiolivetoday.com/gear and check them out. So, and they were on the recommendation of folks like Mark and others in the community that told me I needed to check them out. So I went ahead and did that. So yeah, if you're looking for, and funnily enough, I was using them to record just now because the cool thing is that when you're recording virtual instruments as opposed to using a real amp and miking up amps and things, you can have it playing back. So I found that I got some much better grooves and was able to play in the pocket better because I could just turn up my speakers and record. Now, obviously, if you've got sleeping children or anything around you, you can't exactly do that. But if you've got some speakers there, it can help you out with that. So yeah, so there's the question. Thinking of getting monitors, Yamaha are good but expensive. Is there a cheaper option? So yeah, I think the Presonus, and the good thing about the Presonus Iris is if you've got a bigger space, the 3.5 start at $100, and then you can go up from there. There's the 4.5s, the 5s, the 6s, right up to an 8-inch. And because Presonus are not as expensive as like your KRKs or your Yamahas, you're going to get good quality, but without breaking the bank. So I think that's a pretty good deal. I think I saw another question here. Oh, yeah, that's right. It was YouTube FBI. We're going to do vocal melodies as we go through here today. Hello, Brian. I hope you are doing well, my friend, and g'day to John George, who has stepped on in here. So where we're at the moment is I've showed you there. This is our setup here. So it's only just over 70 bars worth, and we'll do what we usually do with this stuff when we're writing a song, and that is that we'll jump over, and what I've got here in the wrong spot. I've got my songwriting section in. I've got too many OneNote documents here. I've got to find my. There we go. Songwriting. Here we go. So here is my OneNote document. So for those that have seen me do songwriting and recording stuff before, this will be pretty familiar to you. So I use OneNote because I have it on my phones, I have it on my iPad, I have it on my Mac and my PC. So it's just everywhere, and it all syncs up and it works pretty well. So there you go. There is our basic pattern here. We've got some OOs at the start here, which I'm going to record in today, do some vocal recording. We've got a few little words here. The verses are going to be very sparse, and then it's going to jump into an anthemic kind of chorus. And it's about ego. It's kind of the ego week here on Studio Live today. I did a happy hour about ego yesterday, and this song is called Toxic Ego, funnily enough. So we'll jump in and have a play with that in a moment. So what I'll do is we'll come over here. I'm going to record, we're just going to dive straight into this. I'm going to record some vocal takes here. So this is me recording vocals, and I'm literally going to be experimenting and writing the melody lines as we do this. Again, if you haven't joined in this sort of thing before, I invite you to give me critique, to tell me, is a line working, not working? Do you have any alternatives that you think for that particular vocal line that you'd like me to try? And as we go along, I'll give some general hints and tips around recording vocals, and specifically recording vocals in GarageBand, because it is, after all, GarageBand Weekly. So I'm going to grab my mic now. For my vocals, and especially for a rock song, I've spoken about this before, but again, if you're new to the channel, I use a dynamic mic most of the time now for my own vocals, for the main reason that dynamic mics are great at rejecting background noise. So if I'm singing into it like this, I could even have the speakers on, and I wouldn't be able to hear a whole lot in there. So that's a good tip as well. And if you've got a loud vocal, if you're going to really belt it out, a condenser microphone, so something that's more sensitive, is going to pick up too much of that. It's going to be too clear. You want something that's going to muddy it up a little bit and bring out those delicious mids. So that's what I'll be using for this particular one. We'll jump back over to here. Is there a sweary word in the chorus? Yeah, there is. There's the S word. So hopefully you, we'll see. We'll see if the swear words, originally it had an F word in it. And I'm like, no, because I'm going to use this in tutorials. I can't do that. Idea for a lyric? Yeah, girl. Maybe. Mark says I use headphones when I record with a mic. Otherwise, I use monitors. Sounds a lot better and tighter. Yeah, absolutely. And who was it that had a question here about will amp sim latency be faster on the iPad Pro versus the regular 6th gen? Generally not. Your latency, well, sometimes. So if you're getting lots of optimizing performances and your song's sounding a bit laggy, I have had experiences where sometimes it either feels or maybe it actually is a little bit delayed and laggy because the processing's just not keeping up. I noticed that on my old iPad Air 2 sometimes, that it would generate more latency. The good thing about the Pro is that, yeah, it's just crisp, and I've noticed virtually zero latency. Unless you're putting some significant processing like auto-tune on there, you're not going to get a whole lot of delay or lag or anything like that. Hello, Dave Fox. Thank you for jumping in here. And there you go. Mark hasn't got any problems. The thing is, what you'll usually find for vocals in particular, let's give you a demo of this, because we need a setup to record vocals. So we've got, again, I haven't labeled these well. We'll do that as we go through as well. So we've got 2 guitars, rhythm guitar, lead guitar. We've got bass, and we're going to add here, and we're going to add a vocal. So we'll just hit the plus button, come over to vocals, go to more sounds, go to vocals, and I'll probably use the lead vocals as my basis here. But here's the thing. Here's what you got to do with lead vocals. Let's turn the monitoring on. Check. 1, 2. So I'll turn this mic off, and I'll just come over onto this mic. So what you can hear here is all the processing on there. So if I turn off this vocal hall, it's just going to be straight. And I can hear a very small amount. You know that sound where it just sounds like it's slightly doubled? Sounds like a really good double vocal. That's just because I'm hearing that very small amount of latency, probably in the vicinity of 5 to 10 milliseconds. The problem is, though, if you add processing, especially things like pitch control, let's turn this up, and now I'm hearing somewhere in the vicinity of 1/4 of a second, and I don't know if that's coming through. You'll hear it better if I bring this mic back up, because now you're hearing this in real time and this at about 1/4 second delay. And that's way too much, because I'm already getting a headache from hearing myself slightly delayed. So the key here is turn off any processing like that. Can you hear that? That is now much tighter. You can still hear a tiny bit of latency, but it is nothing like it was before. It's almost going to be negligible when I start singing. So that's the thing to do there. The other thing around latency when it comes to microphones is, if you want to, what you can do is turn your monitoring off here. So that's gone off there. And then on your hardware, so on your audio interface, you'll have either a monitor button, which is direct monitoring. So normally you'll have that off because you're monitoring through your software. You're monitoring through GarageBand or whatever software you're using. If you are finding significant latency, you can actually turn that off. Now, the problem there is you're not going to hear the effects. So if you've got reverb on there, if you're using a guitar amp sim, you're just going to hear the raw audio. But if you're trying to get something that is right on the button and you're finding that you're getting a bit of delay because of latency, use that. Now, the good thing about interfaces like the Steinberg UR22C that I'm using here is that it actually has a dial there. So you can dial in between the DAW and direct input, and that way you're getting a bit of both. And that's actually a good way to test it, because you can just dial between those and you'll instantly hear if you're getting significant latency or not. So there's a couple of latency related tips there. But what do you reckon? Should we crack on and record some vocals? Hey, Gino Therese. Yeah, and Timothy's got a good point here. The other good thing about the UR22C is it has onboard processing. I've never used it. There's even an app for that. Can you believe it, that there's an app for the onboard processing? It uses, what is it called? The one D, not DRS. I can't remember the name for it. But there's internal processing of some reverb and some delay. So you can actually use the effects built into the Steinberg, and then it will just play back through those. So it's pretty cool. I need to do that. I need to play around with that at some stage, but I've got the app. I've just never used it. So let's turn our monitoring back on. Now, what I like to do is give a little bit of drive. Check 1, 2, just to give my voice a little bit more gravel, and I will throw a little bit of vocal hole on there. Check 1, 2, 3, just for a little bit of that. DSP. Yes, thank you, Timothy. Thank you, Thomas. DSP is the name of the game. That's what I was trying to think of, not DRS. That's the review system in cricket. Been watching too much cricket. Go Strikers. All right, let's get ourselves set up. Now, the other thing I'm going to do here is use another thing. Did I not have that? I wasn't sharing. There you go. I was showing things on the screen while not sharing. So what I was doing there was adding a little drive and adding a little vocal hole here just to give us a little bit more sound. Yes, and it stands for digital signal processing, as Timothy has advised here. So let's take a look at this and record. So the other thing I'm going to do is set up my dummy track. I'll just turn monitoring off for a sec. Set up my dummy track. So what I always do when I'm recording vocals, or usually sometimes guitars, is set up another track. So I'm just going to tap this one and duplicate it, because what I actually want is to change this track, go up to the microphone icon here, change this to channel 2, which is actually, oh, by the way, quick tip, never use stereo unless it's actually a stereo signal. Never use stereo for a guitar or a microphone. Guitars and microphones are by their very nature mono. If you use stereo, all that will happen is it will put it on the left or the right, depending if you're plugged into the left or the right input on your audio interface. So it's a trick for young players. The amount of people that get their first audio interface, and we're just accustomed to just putting stereo on things. But what that's going to do, can you see how there that it's got channel 1 and 2 now? And as I talk into this microphone, it's only on the left, yeah, and unless I actually play my guitar, which is over here, that's on the right. So left, right, left, right. So don't go stereo unless that, otherwise you'll get two of them on the one channel. Or if you're only plugged into one thing, guess what? You'll only get one thing. So let's go number 2 and bring it on in. Hello, Gary Hubbs. How you doing, my friend? So now what we can do is we can put the monitoring back on here. Check 1, 2. And we can actually hit the red record button on both of these. And I know I've showed you this a bunch of times, but every time I do this, there's someone else that says, "Oh my God, I didn't know you could do that. That's so cool." And it is, because sadly, GarageBand doesn't give you the ability to record on this screen. So the difference is that when I hit record, instead of it going over to here and me not being able to track what I'm actually freaking doing, I can actually hit this button. And now when I hit record, it's going to record those 2 tracks, and hooray, I'm on there. All right, so we'll undo that. Now I've realized I've just got a little bit of trimming to do here, because I started playing my bass idea before I actually started the song. So we're going to start it from there. We're going to start it from there. So what have we got? We've got, actually we've got 4 bars in. We've got 4 bars in here of Logan just chilling. And then we jump in to our, so I'll just pull this in here and make sure this is all working. Nice. Cool. So that's our guitars, and there's going to have a bit of a long intro in here, and we'll record some oohs and ahs in there in a moment to pad this out, because I want this to be an old school kind of rock song that doesn't have to jump straight in like the songs these days that just have to jump straight in. They're just like, quick, get to the hook, man. Yeah, not cool. So what I'm going to do is I'll bring up my words, and I wonder if I can have my words on here at the same time. It's going to get a wee bit crowded over here, isn't it? I'll put that there. No, I'm not really going to be able to have them there. I'll just have the word. I'll show you the screen, and then we'll do a take with me having them on my screen, and then I'll bring them over and you can see them, just so you can see how it looks to record in here. So we're just going to do the first verse of this, which kicks in after this, and you can take a listen and give me any critique on the track as it is so far. Let's give it a crack. Click, click, and click. Check. 1, 2. Turn down this mic so you can only hear this one. Is this the final time? I've just had enough of your arrogance and all that other stuff. Wonder if you know what the others say, or if you even care. I don't think you do, 'cause you got... I didn't see, I haven't actually written the vocal melody of this yet, so I didn't get that transition into the chorus, because the actual chorus melody I do have, which is "You've got an ego that drives me so crazy." That's what we're going to try. You've got... Love that. You've got... Going to turn down my vocals a little bit too, because they're too loud, and that one doesn't need to be on at all. All right, so... You've got... Let's try this one. This is the hook. This is what I'm hoping is going to stick in your head, because I wanted to write a hooky chorus, and we'll see if it actually worked too. You've got an ego that drives me so crazy, but I just don't know how to quit. You think it's okay to treat me like a baby, and I just don't put up with it. You treat the others like they don't even matter, and you're just the star of the show. One day I'm hoping you're gonna learn your lesson, 'cause you've got a toxic ego. So, a couple of things I'm noticing there. One is that my vocal mic is up way too loud. Can you see how we're getting these waveforms? And sorry if they were breaking your ears as we were playing that. We'll just turn the monitoring off there. These are coming up too spiky. Take a look. You've got an ego that drives me so crazy, but I just don't know how to quit. Can you hear how there's some sibilance there? It's not clipping, but it's on the verge of clipping. So at the moment, I'm on the second dot after 12 o'clock here. I think I need to move my vocal mic back to the first dot after 12 o'clock. So your 1 o'clock type position, which I've just done on the little twiddly dial. So I don't have camera 2 set up. Just realized I should have set up a second camera so you can see the adjustments I'm making on the... But just imagine me turning an input dial down 1 notch. And that's what I just did there. So what we'll do is I'll turn that down. We'll re-record. So I'm just going to delete that version. We'll re-record in this vocal pass, and we'll see how this one tracks. So check, check, check. Wah, da, ba, ba. See, that's better. That's definitely coming through at a better overall volume. So let's hit the record button and try this this chorus. You've got... All right, ready? You've got an ego that drives me so crazy. Clunk. Mic drop. Literally a mic drop. All right, that's better. So what I've got to do is I've got to work out a vocal melody of these verses here, because as you probably heard there, the verses are pretty sparse, And I wanted that to be a contrast. I wanted there to be some interest here where the original vocals are really sort of quiet, and then we are sort of really sparse, as in like not a whole lot going on. And then in the chorus, it just jumps into like actual passages here. I think that will work well. So what I'm going to do is a technique that I use here sometimes, which is to split out the different sections so that I can treat them differently and get a little bit more clarity. So what I'm going to do is tap on this one, I'm going to duplicate out. So this one, I'm comfortable with that as the chorus. So what I'll do is I'll come in here and I'll rename, hit the rename button. Just going to bring this closer to myself. So this one, I'm going to start setting up my naming conventions, Vox space chorus. So I know that that's my chorus vocals. I'm then going to drag this down here, even though I'm going to re-record these. I'm going to tap there, I'm going to tap on this one, and we're going to rename this as, not surprisingly, Vox verse. Vox verse. So that's going to be our verse. And the other thing I want is, I want some O's. So when I originally did this track, I realized that I wanted like an oh kind of sound, and I think it worked pretty well. So we'll re-record those just to give us a little bit of an idea of what this is going to be. We'll rename this as verse O's. By the way, you might think, what, Pete, you're doing this live and you're doing it all within an hour. This is actually a good technique for you to use if you are struggling. If you're just noodling and you're trying to do things, put the timer on, put the clock on, give yourself an hour and see how much you can do. Because I'm looking at this clock and I'm like, 26 minutes, John, so you've got 34 minutes left. You better get your bloody button to gear. All right, so I'm going to save out of that one just to give myself a new version. And guess what? We're going to duplicate for version control. Yay, we're up to version 6 now. And of course, this will take up more space, but you don't want to do a bunch of stuff and then come back and it not be what you wanted. Hang on, what did I just do there? Did I, what the... Hang on, no. Didn't I, did I just duplicate that song and it's not the right version? That's super weird. Did I already have a version 6 there that's bizarre, man. Okay, we'll delete that. Did you see that? I'm going to go back and review the tape on that one. Maybe I selected the wrong version. I think I might have selected the wrong version. All right, tap, duplicate, version 6. Yeah, I think that was human error there. All right, so let's record in these O's, shall we? Just to get a bit of an idea of what the O's are going to be at the start here. Ba, 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 ba. There you go. Put a dummy track on. We don't need to do that on the dummy track. So we'll play this one in and we'll record us some O's. And remember, I'll jump back to the comments in a sec. And if you've got any feedback or ideas for this, let me know. And the other thing I want to do is turn down this bloody lead guitar. It's too loud and it's kind of overpowering. So we'll just turn that one down. And we'll do it from... here, not playing, we'll record. Boom. Check 1, 2. This mic, so you can only hear this. Stop talking. All right, there's our O's. What I'm going to do is just chop off the start. I'm going to duplicate this out and I'm going to do some harmony O's. So we're going to hit the duplicate button, put our monitoring on this one so you can actually hear me. I'm going to get rid of this bollocks that I was talking at the start and at the start of that one. And let's record some harmony O's over the top of these O's again. Get a dummy track ready and do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's now get rid of these vocals because this verse was absolutely atrocious. We'll delete that out. The reason I re-recorded the first O's and then the harmony O's is that it doesn't hurt to have a backup there, so we can use that if we wanted to. So we've got now. And by the way, if you're only just joining us, Logan up here is just a drummer track with no feels. He's just, this is my metronome. So don't focus too much on the drums. You're like, Pete, those drums are so dry and boring. Yeah, they are, because they're just the backbone right now. They're just the groove. And actually, what we can do, we can change up Logan here, because in the last episode of this one, we actually used the follow option here, but then we've unfollowed Logan. So we're going to refollow him now that we've got the bass, which I think is this track, this third audio recorder track. Yeah, I think that was it, because it processes the bass, and now Logan will actually follow along with our bass. Yeah, that'll sound better. That'll be better, Logan. Thanks, Logs. Appreciate you. Gonna have to do some track naming here, because nothing is named at the moment. We'll jump back over to the chat, and then we'll jump on and continue on doing our thing. Logan is playing like he knows he isn't part of the future. Right. Harmonious is part of this complete breakfast. I like it. I like it a lot. Hello, Car Martinez. Thank you. Some cheery O's. New audio interface in 2022. I mean, I still got to keep leaning towards my Steinberg UI22C. For everything, if you want something that's got ability to be powered either by USB or separate 5-volt USB power bank, it's got MIDI, it's got 2 high-quality Yamaha D-Pre preamps, and it just works with everything class compliant. The Steinberg UR series, it's still my go-to. It's still the best bang for your buck in terms of value, and it's what I'm using right here, right now, and is what I would recommend. We'll just see. I just caught myself saying yeah after talking with the guys at work. What does this mean? Yeah? Yeah? Oh, is that what I say? Yeah. Nice. I want to do that too. Should we do that? Shall I just set them up? I've got some space behind me here now, and I've got I plan to sell my MIDI drums. But I just haven't got my ass into gear. But I need to set them up to take photos and to test them and everything. So do we do that? If there's enough demand, if you're watching this either live or on the replay, just put drums yes or drums no. And don't worry, Jade, you won't be out of a job like permanently, but I also realise that there's 5-6 days left in the month, and I don't expect you to, with everything else you got going on, be able to play drums. But yeah, at least to try it out, to show you how we can hook up a drum kit to GarageBand and record MIDI drums using a drum kit. It could be fun. I haven't played drums in a really long time, so let me know. Let me know in the comments if we should get some drums going on. Don't sell them. I got nowhere to put them up. That's the problem. I got nowhere to keep them up. Where are we at? 32 minutes. Let's get back to the action. Let's just do a quick quality of life stuff here. Hang on, I'll share myself there. Quick quality of life thing. So Logan can stay as Logan, but let's just rename and this can be a tip of the week, because we're not doing a regular GarageBand Weekly here this week. This tip of the week today is to name your tracks early and often. So this is guitar rhyme, which is guitar rhythm. The other thing you can do in GarageBand is tap and go to your icons, and we can give this a more relevant icon. So there's my Les Paul rhythm guitar, sort of ish. Is that a Les Paul? Can't even see. Yeah, I think so. We'll rename this one. So this one's going to be our guitar lead that we've got in here for now. Guitar dash lead, and this one here is going to be our bass. Slap the bass. Rename it. This is going to be bass. This is where the Magic Keyboard, by the way, thank you, Jade. I mentioned it in my gear review the other day. I didn't think the Magic Keyboard would be any good. Just having it down, I know you can't see what I'm looking at, but having it down here with the Magic Keyboard is so much easier than it would be otherwise. So that's the O's, the harmony of the O's, and then we've got our verse, our chorus, and this is our good old friend, the dummy track. So we'll rename this one to Dummy. Yeah, Dummy. All right. Dummy track is in and good. So what we need to do now is we need to get this verse sorted. So I'll just sort of sing along, and what we'll do is this time we'll bring up the lyrics, because what I really wanted for this is like, it's the final time, I've just had enough of your arrogance and all the other stuff. Wonder if you know what the others say, or even if you care. I don't think you do, 'cause you've got an ego. Yeah, so I need to find a lyric that'll actually work into there. So let's play it from the O's, from the second O's, and I'll just sort of sing it and see if something works in. And you know what? Let's not just sing it. Let's actually put on the recording and sing it into here, because you might as well, if you're experimenting, you might capture lightning in a bottle sometimes. So ABR, always be recording. Yeah, exactly. If I'm going to set them up anyway, I might as well do a video, right? And those of you on my patrons, you'll probably get to watch me set them up. And I'll get you to help me because I don't know what to plug into where. That could be a fun one. Alrighty, let's hit the record button and try and sing in some buttons.
It's the final time. I've just had enough of your arrogance and all the other stuff. Wonder if
Then we have a little break. What do you think of that break, actually? Does it need to have a break there, or maybe no? I like the idea of having like a lead break. Let's try it. So it's in 2 4-part couplets, or whatever you'd call them.
it's the final time, and I've just had enough of your arrogance and all the other stuff. Wonder if you know what the others say, or even if you care. I don't think you do, 'cause you've got an ego that drives me so crazy.
Does that lead in there? What note do I end on, and then what do we go to? So this is where me singing there will actually help, because we'll be able to hear if it actually works as a melody line. So
I don't think you do, 'cause you've got an ego that drives.
calls. We need probably like a calls. Let's see if we just record in a quick calls. Sound like Kermit the Frog. Calls. Oh man, I'm having fun again. It's good. All right.
You've got an ego that drives me so crazy, but I just
Not quite. Try it again. Calls.
You've got an ego that drives me so crazy.
Yeah, that's sort of in the ballpark, I think. And remember, the good thing about GarageBand is that we can cough, apparently. We can then punch back in here. Oh, don't do that. Undo. We can grab this and we can shimmy it on over here and then grab this one. Non-destructive editing for the win. So let's just see if this all comes together.
Do call, you've got an ego that
Calls you. Something like that. What does that mean? All right, let's bring it all together in this second part and see if it makes sense of the melody line.
wonder if you know what the others say, or even if you care. I don't think you do, 'cause you've got an ego that drives me so crazy, but I just
Maybe we don't even need the cos in the first one, and then maybe that's like a thing, that's a pickup for the second time around. What I'm going to do is we're going to go to settings and we're going to mute it, gain down to 0, because I reckon it might just be better
I
like
don't think you do. You've got an ego that
because that goes, I don't think you do. You've got an ego that yeah, something like that. It just needs to make sure that it makes sense of the melody line. All right, let's try and record the second verse in here. So after the first chorus, hang on. You know what I'll do? I've still got this showing, haven't I? Come on, Chance, get it together, son. All right. So yeah, well, let's come in here and find the second verse.
you've got a toxic ego.
Right, so there's the point where our verse comes in. We're going to have to do some sectioning here, by the way, folks. So that once we've got the structure down, we need to get some sections happening. By the way, yeah, no, this is not. Someone said, is there There's is this about anyone? No, this is fully fictional. If it has to be about someone, just think of the most vapid social media influencer, TikToker person that you can think of, and it's about them. And originally I wrote it as she's got an ego that drives me so crazy. And then I just changed it to you, because I'm like, I don't need to be gender specific here. There's wankers that are male and female, right? All right, let's record in this second verse. So the second verse is down here. The second verse is like a shortened second verse. So we'll just see how this one works in with this.
You're oblivious, you don't have a clue. Why should you care? It's all about you, go!
Yeah. And then we'll just jump straight into and record another chorus into there, which starts right here.
It's all about you, go!
I'm very shouty today. Sometimes I record vocals and think that could be the actual vocal, and then this one's not really going to be the way, is it? Chatting about vinyl and tapes, I love it. I was thinking about whether I start collecting vinyl, and then I'm like, yeah, I've probably got enough going on in my life. So here's where we're at the moment. We're just jumping back over, and we're going to record on this chorus track. We'll get our dummy involved again, and we'll record this next. You've already seen the words, so you don't need those. I'm gonna say an S word in this little section here too, just one, because I want to.
It's all about you, go! You've got an ego that drives me so crazy, but I just don't know how to quit. You think it's okay to treat me like a baby, and I just put up with it. You treat the others like they don't even matter, and you're just the star of the show. One day I'm hoping you're gonna learn your lesson, 'cause you've got a toxic ego. Oh no, oh no.
Yeah. I forgot that I did that bit at the end. Go, oh, 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 oh no. Yeah. I think it's vaguely there. I want to try and do, so we're just going to duplicate it here. There's going to be a lot of vox in this one, because the chorus, we're going to rename this one, chorus harmony. I want to, I don't know whether I'm going to use this in both the first and the second chorus, but I've got a third up, like a classic 90s or early noughties punk third up kind of, what is it called? Thing. Needs more kazoo punk. Actually, weirdly enough, one of my children was playing with a kazoo just yesterday. I'm going to turn this drive down a little bit. I think I've gone a little bit overboard with that, and sadly, I've now copied it out onto every track. So let's just we'll turn it down for this track that we're working on here. Don't need as much overdrive. Need a little bit just to grit it, just to rub it in the dirt a wee bit. And this harmony chorus as well. I'll do a little bit. I'll do a little bit more of this off camera, so you don't have to see all the thing, because I know you want to just hear the song come together. And once again, if you're watching on the replay, please give me your feedback and ideas. I'm very thick-skinned, so if you say, "Dude, that lead guitar part sucks. You should play B E F G F E B," I'll be like, "Cool, I'll try it." Can't read music, don't know what the notes are, but I'll try it. All right, let's try some harmonious vocals here. So we'll check 1, 2, get our dummy engaged. So let's just find the notes.
You've got an ego that
You've got an ego that drives me so crazy. That's our harmony part. So let's see if this harmony is going to work in nicely. I'll turn it down a little bit, so I'll sit underneath. And you've got an ego. All right, let's try it.
all about you, go! You've got an ego that drives me so crazy, but I just don't know how to quit. You think it's okay to treat me like a baby, and I just put up with it. You treat the others like they don't even matter, and you're just the star of the show. One day I'm hoping you're gonna
No, indeed. I reckon that's in the ballpark. That's the sort of jam I think we want. Did I not have my dummy track on then? Come on, dummy. Come on, dummy. I hit the wrong button on the dummy track. There you go. But I reckon, what do you think? It's a classic. Look, it's an absolute hack, because how many harmony lines have you heard that are exactly that? You go a third up and you just kind of hold some notes a bit more. Let's try these together.
You've got an ego that drives me so crazy, but I just don't know how to quit. You think it's okay to treat me like a baby, and I just put up with it.
Yeah.
You treat the others like they don't even matter, and you're just the star of the show. One day I'm hoping you're gonna learn your lesson, 'cause you've got a toxic ego.
Yeah, I think keeping it simple there. Keeping it simple with the harmonies on there. I think the chorus definitely needs a double track. So I'll just re-record. We'll duplicate this out just to see what this is going to sound like when we sort of start completing the cycle of this. So we'll put that on. We'll put the dummy track, and I'll just sing you. I'll just sing the down here part again. And record it in. Ready? Let's do this.
All about you, cause you've got an ego that drives me so crazy, but I just don't know how to quit. You think it's okay to treat me like a baby, and I just put up with it. You treat the others like they don't even matter, and you're just the star of the show. One day I'm hoping you're gonna learn your lesson, 'cause you've got a toxic ego. Oh no, oh no.
I'm going to leave that chaotic ending in there just for now. So the cool thing, here's another quick tip for you. A doubled vocal. So here's this original vocal, yeah?
You've got an ego that drives me so crazy.
And we could go in here and we could affect this up. We could put a bunch of things. We could put some, we've already got some reverb and some overdrive and some compression on there. We'll probably change that when we get to the mixing phase. But the cool thing about having a vocal double here is that you can just kind of mix in a little bit more of the sound, and it actually sounds awesome. Like, think Dave Grohl, think the Beatles. People have been using doubled vocals for a really long time, and the reason is because they're so simple and so effective. You don't have to do a bunch of complex processing on them. You don't have to do a bunch of complex plugins and EQ. You just need to bring in a little bit of a second version. Let's show you what I mean.
You've got an ego that drives me so crazy, but I just don't know how to quit.
So with too much of it,
you think it's okay to treat me
stupid.
like a baby, and I just put up with it.
But with a little bit sitting under there,
you treat the others like they don't even matter, and you're just the star of the show. One day I'm hoping you're gonna learn your lesson, 'cause you've got a toxic ego. Oh no.
Oh no, oh no, oh no. So yeah, vocal doubles are very cool. There you go. Brad doubles my vocals always. Yeah. And that's why if you listen to Brad Example's music, his vocals sound very much like E from the Eels, because the Eels double their vocals on almost every track, and it just gives it that texture. It gives it a little bit more width. It gives it more texture, and it also does another cool thing, which is it gives a lot more forgiveness if you have any bung notes, because it will protect you from those. Because sometimes two wrongs make a right, and it just means that if you're slightly off on one of your vocals and then you're slightly off on the other, they kind of come together and work together well. It's weird. I don't know I'm not technical enough to know the details, but that's how it kind of comes together. So let's save, because that's where we want to be. Where are we at? We're 49 minutes here, so we're 49 minutes in. I do want a second guitar sound. So while I've got my guitar plugged in, why don't we double up this rhythm guitar? Because I want a wall of guitar sound. And I'm not convinced this lead needs to be in every spot. And I'm not convinced on the tones either, but we'll play around with them in the mixing phase. So there's our rhythm guitar, and what I'll do is, before we go out here, just so that we can get a final feel, I'm going to duplicate this out, and also so I can keep learning how to play the guitar. Let's find another guitar tone here that might work nicely. So we don't want to use the exact same guitar tone. Where are we? Over here. What we were using, wrong spot, there we go. We're using the Crunk V2 on this one. We'll take the Crunk away, and why don't we go, well, let's grab Tone Bridge this time around, because I want to just, because that one's sort of a... what do I want? I wonder if they have any Jebediah, because this is a song, I actually want this song to sound kind of like an Australian band called Jebediah. Let's see. Come on, Tonebridge. Let's see how well you do with this. Jebediah. There's a song called Leaving Home. No, we've got no Jebediah. What's an American band? They're a bit like a Weezer. Let's find a Weezer tone that might work here. So, what sort of song from Weezer? If I Was King of the World? No, maybe Undone Sweater Song, Island of the Sun. No, My Name is Jonas. No, Beverly Hills. Perfect Situation. Yeah, maybe this is going to be the one. All right, let's grab the guitar. Unplug it. Oh, I'm too old to bend over like that. Right, we're going to plug in the guitar and make sure that we're all set up here. So for this guitar, we need to make sure that we have monitoring on. Oh, there we go. That's not a bad tone, is it? We're out of tune. So a quick tuning, and then we'll play it in. And the cool thing again about AUV3... Oh, no. My snark has died midstream. Oh, no. I don't have one handy. Hang on. Here's our snarky. Snarky. All right, we'll throw this snark tune. Need another CR. Does anyone else buy CR2032 batteries in bulk? Because all of your little bits and pieces like this use those little coin batteries. Yeah, go on to eBay. You can usually get like 10 packs for $6-7. There's a tip for you. Always the G string. Timothy's saying some acoustic strumming. Yeah, look, I deliberately didn't write this song with an acoustic guitar because I write all my songs with acoustic guitar. But maybe a little acoustic would be okay. Just like through the verses, just for a little bit of texture. All right, so maybe I'll bring this up onto the... It's a bit too fuzzy, isn't it? It's not quite... I want a bit more of a clunky tone, so I think that one might be a little bit too much fuzz. Why don't we go... We'll go Weezer again. Search. Come on, search. Enter. Oh, I've got to retype it. Weezer. Come on, you can do it. You can do it, Cambridge. Let's go with something different. What about the hash pipe? This tone might be a bit better. That's more like it. Oh, whoa, whoa. I'm just going to turn it down so I don't blow your ears off. I don't have a 12-string, Timothy. Otherwise, that might be cool for this. All right, let's hit record on this one, and we'll play along. We'll make sure that we're in the right zone here. Yep, cool. So that's sounding all right. What we'll do is we'll just, we'll in bigger now sound here and turn that one down. Make sure that we can hear the drums so we can stay in the beat, and we'll record along. Might be a little bit loud there. We'll delete that. Just going to turn my input down. It's better to be a bit too low than a bit too high when you're recording guitars in a digital environment. So let's we'll give 2 bars of Logan here, and then we'll see if we can do a one-take wonder. Or I really like this Weezer tone. A little bit lower. All right. Where's my dummy? Oh, now I'm just gonna have to quickly change my dummy around because I'm using channel 2 now for the guitar. My dummy needs to be channel 1. You know what I should do? At the start of every track, I should just have a template where I have dummy 1 and dummy 2. and then everything would be hunky-dory. All right, so we're recording there, we are recording here, and we're going to hit the record button and go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Other stuff. Wonder if you know what the others say, or even if you care. I don't think you do. You've got an ego that drives me so crazy, but I just don't know how to quit. You think it's okay to treat me like a baby, and I just put up with it. You treat the others like they don't even matter, and you're just the star of the show. One day I'm hoping you're gonna learn your lesson, 'cause you've got a toxic ego.
I missed that it was a double. Maybe that's telling me that it needs to be a single. You reckon? Maybe. I might need to change the arrangement here. So there's that section there. I'll just play it from there. So that's beer. I kind of like the beer. We'll play it from here. Beer. I missed the chord.
Should you care? It's all about you, 'cause you've got an ego that drives me so crazy, but I just don't know how to quit. You think it's okay to treat me like a baby, and I just put up with it. You treat the others like they don't even matter, and you're just the star of the show. One day I'm hoping you're gonna learn your lesson, 'cause you've got a toxic ego. Oh no,
oh no. Some nice bang the gut tremor on the guitar on the way out. Hello, Desolate Morning. We're rocking out here today. Alrighty. So we're coming up to the hour. So we're gonna have to finish off soon, because I did say I wanted to do this for an hour, but I'm gonna go late. Who knew I would go late? But I'm gonna do a wee bit of mixing, like pre-mixing here, because I want to get this to the level where it's at least close to a demo kind of sound here. So let's firstly just hear these two guitars together, and we'll balance them out. And let's see, have we achieved the Wallow guitar sound? Because what you have to do to test your Wallow guitars is come in here, you got to pan one of them hard left, you got to pan one of them hard right, you got to cross your fingers and your toes, and you got to go, how's my tone? Yeah? Not bad, right? For out of the box. And similar to your vocal doubles, a guitar double, the slight variations just create some really nice differences and textures. And you notice that I recorded this one. This tone came in a little bit sort of louder, so I've just had to turn that down a little bit in the volume there. All right, let's bring it all back together, shall we? Before I do this, if anyone has any questions, thank you for hanging out here. I know it's been a different kind of GarageBand Weekly. We will be back to usual programming next week, where we'll be talking about more of the GarageBand tips and tricks and news and views and all the other things that you're used to. But today, had to kill those two birds. Horrible saying, poor birds. But I did want to get this recording in here. I wanted to kick this song along. By the way, let's save out. Let's create a new version because we're about to do some mixing. Tap it, duplicate it, and move into version 7. And yeah, so I wanted to do that. And I just thought sometimes it's cool to have that over-the-shoulder look. Sometimes it's good to learn things. You won't want to do everything the way that I do it, but there might be a few things in here where you're like, I've never doubled vocals. I've never tried to do a wall of guitar with 2 different guitar tones left and right. I've never tried, whatever it is. I've never tried to do a harmony in a chorus vocal. That's a good idea. I'll just go up the third. So little things like that hopefully can help you. And thank you for hanging here and helping me along as well. If you do have questions, and we've got about 10 minutes left. So if you do have any questions, feel free to ask your questions about this or about anything else GarageBand related, and I'll see how we go with that, because we'll hang out for another 10 or so minutes. Thank you, Timothy, for dropping on by. Hope you're having a good afternoon. I know those poor birds are now a bucket of wings. Oh, well. I'm a vegetarian. Don't tell anyone, but there you go. What plugin is that? Yeah, good question. So actually, we'll go through it. Let's do a quick track by track. We'll do a faders down remix here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to chuck all of our faders down. We'll do a track by track, and we'll build it up, and I'll show you what we got on each one so that we can build out our track and get it about the right volume. So at this point, Logan is literally just our metronome. So Logan is our virtual drummer up the top here, and he's just doing a based on the AM Gold, but he's actually following the bass. So we've used the follow here. Actually, it's got the, why does it say don't follow? That's weird. Hang on. We're only following in that section. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, that's okay. So follow the audio recorder 3. So that's our bass track. I don't know why it's not called bass there. Did we rename that to bass? No. Are we in the wrong version again? I make that same mistake again. I did. Look at that. I made the exact same mistake again. Hang on. Let's delete that. What I did is I duplicated out version 5 instead of version 6. Way to give myself a heart attack. This is why I use version control. That is better. So as I was saying, let's turn down all of our volumes. Oh, it's been a long week. This is my Friday night, by the way, folks. I know it's Monday morning for me and Sunday afternoon for you. But my week kind of goes from Thursday to Monday morning, because that's when everyone is around, wants to watch videos. So that's where I'm doing most of my stuff. So let's come in here. So Logan, here we go. So he's following the bass. And as you can see here, he's got this sort of sound. We'll turn his volume up. So just a very basic rock kind of beat. So what we'll do here, so he's got a bit of echo and reverb that I normally throw on all of my tracks just to make them gel together. So let's grab our bass next. We'll bring the bass up under here. Our bass track is doing this. And on the bass track, we're using the Mammoth. So I showed this last week, the Mammoth bass amp. I've just dialed in a tone there that I think works for this song. There's our groove. We've then got some guitars. So we've got 2 rhythm guitars. Now, the rhythm guitar that we've now got on our left is using the Crunk V2. That's doing this. Turn it up. And the guitar on the right is using Tone Bridge. And we've got this Weezer hash pipe tone dialed in here. So if we bring these together. So that's our guitars. We're using Tonebridge, we're using Crunk, and we're using Mammoth on there. You could just as easily use the free stuff. I mean, Crunk's free, Tonebridge is free, Mammoth is the only thing not free. You can use the GarageBand bass amp sims. We've then got a lead guitar sound here, which is also using Tonebridge. This is using this animal tone, which I'm not super in love with, but it's doing the job for now. It may change in the future, but this is our lead guitar tone, which is playing along here at the start. Put a little reverb on all these. That mix is coming together okay, even just with all this. So at the start here, we've got some O's. So we've got 2 sets of O's here. We've got the starting ones. Not convinced about the lead guitar there. I actually think the lead guitar only needs to come in there. I don't think it needs to be in the intro at all. I think that we can probably scrap that from the start, just as we do a little bit of arranging as we go along. So now our verse vocals that we're still kind of working on bedding down the melody of. Do a little bit of this.
It's the final time, and I've just had enough of your arrogance and all the other stuff. Wonder if you know what the others say, or even if you care. I don't think you do.
And then the chorus, which is hopefully going to be the hooky bit that eventually gets stuck in everyone's heads, because that's what I like to do. And I'm doing a pop punk song, so I can write a pop punk hook that's going to do a little bit of this.
You've got an ego that drives me so crazy, but I just don't know how to quit. You think it's okay to treat me like a baby, and I just put up with it. You treat the others.
So yeah, a little bit crunchy on that chorus. I need to tweak the vocal tone a little bit, and sing it better once I've actually written it properly. So we then have the verse again as it comes in down here.
You're oblivious, you don't have a clue. Why should you care? It's all about you, 'cause you've got an ego that drives me so crazy, but I just don't know how to quit. You think it's okay to treat me like a baby, and I just put up with it.
All right, so it's coming together. So we'll save out that basic static mix there, and I'll go away. We'll take a wee break from it, and then come back and see what it actually needs. So see what the song needs as I listen to it. Because sometimes when you've done, the reason I'm doing an hour on this is that sometimes you need to do all of that, and then you need to go away and just come back and listen to it again. Because I'll probably come back and listen to it and go, oh my God, that lyric's totally wrong. Oh my God, that guitar's totally wrong. That bass is totally wrong. Yeah. Hello, Josiah. Sorry, you are late. You're just an hour late. We're about to finish. Very cool. Version control, naming and numbering versions of a song. So remember what it did. Yeah. So let me just reiterate what I'm talking about with version, because I need to do some cleaning up here, because I've got a whole bunch of stuff in here and I don't need a lot of these early stuff. So we're going to actually delete everything out of here from the number 4 onwards, because everything else it's not needed anymore. So we'll delete this. So version control here. This was called New Grunger Song. I'll actually name it its actual name soon. But we've got 4 versions here. So this was sort of my original idea that we were playing around with on the last one, which is quite different from now. Oh, it's so draggy now. Yeah, it just wasn't working at that BPM. So what I did is I duplicated that out, and then I kind of rewrote and deleted a bunch of stuff, redid a bunch of stuff, and came out with like this. We then made a whole bunch of changes, and then what I did is I tapped and held on this one and hit the duplicate button, and that created this version. And then we went ahead and we edited and we added and we got some vocals and we did some things.
Or even if you care, I don't think you do.
And then before I did this faded down static remix, I grabbed that version, I hit the duplicate button, and we've got this version 7. So the reason I advocate doing this is, let's just say I did a whole bunch of stuff in this mix and it just sounded horrible. It sounds horrendous. Well, guess what? All I need to do is delete version 7 and go back to version 6. Rather than hoping like heck I can undo 27 different things, if you reach a point, it's like, think of it, if you're a gamer, think of it like playing a video game. You need those save points, right? You need those save points so that you don't have to go right back to the start of the game. It's the same with music. With version control, if you duplicate out your song and you have multiple versions. So what I'll probably do now is I'll go away and then add to this. And then once I hit another critical point, I will come out here, I will tap and hold on this one, and I will duplicate out, and we'll have version 8. And then I'll continue on with that. Yes, it does mean that, you know, I've got each one of these that's, 170 meg, 100 meg, 65 meg. It will start taking up space, but the headaches it will save you are going to be worth it in the long run, I believe. So there you go. A different kind of GarageBand Weekly, but thanks for hanging out, and hope you got something out of it. If like Guzzo, you've just dropped in here, sounding very true to theme. Hello, been lurking. Hello, Guzzo. No, he's been lurking. What's next? GarageBand Weekly. I know. YML, GBU, CTH. Yeah, we've got a lot of shows around here on the channel. So I get a couple of days to chill. So we do some additional live shows over on the Patreon from time to time. So as we mentioned at the start of the show, if you are not already a patron and you want to make sure that you get all of the information and all of the live streams and all the shows, jump over studiolivetoday.com/Patreon. For as little as $1 per month, you can get all the extra content over there and help us keep the lights on here at Studio Live Today. So we'll be continuing to work on this song, and I'm kind of inspired now. I kind of need to go and get the drum kit out. I need to get it out anyway, dust it off, plug it in, make sure it works. So maybe that may be my afternoon. So watch this space for that. But yeah, your next live show is going to be the Creator Town Hall, which will be happening Thursday night my time, which is sort of Thursday wee hours of the morning or Thursday midday for those in the UK and Europe. I'm then on Mike's Creative Source show, Featured Artist Live. So myself and Jade Starr will be on that show. That's Friday morning, which will be Thursday night for many of you folks. And then, of course, we've got the usual shows over next weekend. So we'll be doing Your Music Live Friday afternoon or Saturday morning, depending where you are in the world. The Happy Hour, which will be the Flying Hour, which should be fun. And then GarageBand Weekly, of course, this time next week. We then also have a very special 6th anniversary show. So stay tuned for that one. Make sure that you are on the mailing list. That's the easiest way to go. If you go to studiolivetoday.com/email, get yourself on the mailing list. You get the weekly newsletter. You get all the links to all the shows. You will never miss another one. You can set reminders. You can go to the playlist. You can do all the things. So thanks everyone for hanging out. Again, if you do have ideas about this song, if you've got feedback, if you've got tips, if you've got things that you want to see or hear in the song, or ideas for lyrics or anything else, drop those in the comments and let me know if you want me to play some drums. Rockabilly says, can you do vary speed? Well, it's his final question. Can you do vary speed in GarageBand? Record a piano part at a slow speed, then speed it up to match the rest of the song, like the piano parts in Beatles' song In My Life. Sort of. GarageBand doesn't manage speed, doesn't manage tempo change as well, and doesn't manage ramping speed almost at all. So there's no tempo track. So GarageBand on Mac and things like Cubasis and Logic, they have a tempo track. So if you want to ramp up the tempo, but GarageBand, as soon as you start doing that, you kind of have to go off the grid. The only real way to do it is to create your own custom metronome, and then you can't use the grid at all. So you have to go with all live recorded instruments. So good question. Yeah, not really something that you can do. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate you, my friend. Thanks for hanging out here. Thank you, Josiah. CTH, yes, Creator Town Hall. I don't think we have a guest for this week, so might have to find someone to chat with. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Please be kind to yourselves this week. Be kind to others and keep creating. Why not? Look, there's still 7 days left in January. Why don't you do a song? Go on, get cracking. Go and get recording. Thanks everyone for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now from me and GarageBand Weekly. Take us out, Croc Song.
GarageBand Weekly.
See ya.
GarageBand Weekly.
Bye for now.
GarageBand
Later, non-haters. See ya.